Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing UFC 290, and I'm going to be giving you guys my main card predictions. Starting off with Mario Bautista versus Damon Blackshear. This is an absolutely incredible fight. Mario Bautista, he's one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. I'm a huge fan of Mario Bautista, and if you haven't watched his fights already, I would advise every single one of you to go watch his fights. In his last fight, he went out there against Guido Cantani. Submitted him in the first round. This was an absolutely wild fight. Eats a couple of hard leg kicks early, and then goes out there and creates some phenomenal scrambles. Gets on the back immediately. Shows amazing wrestling in this fight. Gets on the back, finds the rear naked choke. Same situation in the last fight before then. Essentially just, eats a couple shots early. Nothing really crazy. And then creates some phenomenal scrambles. Shows off his phenomenal boxing, his phenomenal hands. Eventually uses his wrestling. He is one of the most explosive and exciting wrestlers I've ever seen in my entire life. And he goes out there and just finds the submission. He finds the armbar. He gets in a triangle armbar position and then extends the arm. His opponent immediately taps out. If I had to describe Mario Bautista, he's like a mix of Khalil Roundtree, Hamza Chimaev, and Alexander Pantoja in the same person. He's an absolutely phenomenal fighter, and I'm very excited to see what he does in the division. Moving on, we have Damon Blackshear. Damon Blackshear is an absolutely wild fighter. These are two of the best athletes on the card. They're super explosive, super exciting to watch, and these are two phenomenal fighters. In his last fight, he fought Jose Johnson. He went out there and literally got the craziest submission I've ever seen. The fight was very competitive, but he eventually gets in this weird position on the back. He only has one hook in, and he's kind of hanging onto one leg, sets up the twister, and gets the twister submission. He's making back-to-back weight cuts as he steps in as a short notice replacement for Cody Garbrandt at UFC 292. And honestly, I don't see him winning this fight. You look at the fight with Luan Lacerda, and you see what Luan Lacerda was able to do to him, was able to take him down, was able to control him. And even though he won the fight via ground and pound, he has shown a susceptibility to the grappling. We saw it against Farid Barshar. Farid was able to out-grapple him, was able to outstrike him and beat him via decision. And, I just don't see him winning this fight. I think Mario Bautista is the better striker. He's got the better gas tank. He's certainly a better grappler. And even though, Damon Blackshear's got phenomenal wrestling, I do believe that Mario Bautista is going to be able to nullify that with his jiu-jitsu and with his superior wrestling as well. So as for an official prediction, I am going Mario Bautista via second round submission. How I see this fight playing out is just going to be very competitive on the feet early. Mario Bautista is going to back Damon Blackshear up. He's going to land some nasty combos eventually after a very slow start. He's going to create some phenomenal scrambles. He's going to take him down, wear him out, beat him up on the ground a little bit with some nasty ground and pound, and he's going to find a submission on him. I am going Mario Bautista via second round submission. I think he's going to latch up that rear naked choke and choke him out brutally in the second round. Moving up the card, we have Marlon Chito Vera versus Pedro Munhoz. Guys, I'm incredibly excited for this fight. This is one of my most anticipated fights of the card. This is an absolute phenomenal matchup. Originally it was supposed to be Marlon Chito Vera versus Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo pulls out because he had a shoulder injury. And honestly, that's a huge trend with this card. We look at all the pullouts. Cody Garbrandt was supposed to fight Mario Bautista. What a barn burner that would have been. Rob Font versus Song Yadong. That would have been an absolutely incredible bantamweight matchup to see where Song Yadong is. Jeff Neal versus Ian Machado Garry. That was the most anticipated fight of the year for me. Arguably, it was easily top 5, but the anticipation for Ian Machado Garry versus Jeff Neal was absolutely incredible. And then obviously Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Chito Vera fell through because Henry Cejudo had an injured shoulder. Marlon Chito Vera, he's 22-8. He's an absolutely incredible fighter. He goes out there in his last fight, loses to Corey Sandhagen because Corey Sandhagen implemented the grappling and he didn't let him settle. The problem is too many guys let Chito Vera settle, and you can't just throw shots at him because even if you throw shots at him, he has phenomenal defense and he has a great chin. He's never even been dropped. He's never been wobbled. He's never been finished. He's never been hurt. You're not really going to be able to hurt him or have any effect against him with strikes on the feet. And if you let him settle like that, you're going to eventually fall into his trap when he catches you with like a head kick or a big punch or an elbow or something when he sets it up. And against Pedro Munhoz has incredible cardio, incredible chin. He's just as tough as Chito Vera. He's got incredible power. He's great pace, great wrestling, great grappling, all that stuff. And how I see this fight playing out is essentially, Pedro Munhoz is going to implement the grappling early. He's going to shoot in immediately. He's going to get in the clinch. He's going to start working the takedowns. He's eventually going to get Marlon Chito Vera down. Marlon Chito Vera is going to try to get up to his feet. He's eventually going to get up to his feet, but he's just going to get taken down again. And it's going to be a very uneventful first round. In the second round, I believe Chito Vera is going to be he's going to be a little bit softened up. He's going to be a little bit weaker. He's going to be looking a little bit more desperate in this round. And I believe that the superior pace, the superior grappling, I believe that Pedro Munhoz will not let him settle in the second round either. Marlon Chito Vera can go out there and lose the second round, just 10-9. Another, just high pressure, high cardio, high pace. Not a lot of damage from Pedro Munhoz, but just very high pace. I do believe that by the third round, Marlon Chito Vera will have settled. He will have downloaded his data, and he's going to be throwing some heat at Pedro Munhoz. But I do believe Pedro Munhoz can be able to survive the third round and win a 29-28 decision. I'm going Pedro Munhoz via 29-28 decision. Moving up the card, we have Magny versus Ian Machado Garry. I literally do not care about this fight in the slightest. This is the least compelling matchup on the entire card for me, or at least on the main card. I don't care. I'm a huge fan of Ian Machado Garry. I don't really care about Magny. And in this fight, we were supposed to get Jeff Neal versus Ian Machado Garry. Like I said, that was one of my most anticipated fights of the year. I could not wait for it. And, now we're getting Magny. Magny, his way of winning is clinching up with you and just throwing some knees to the thigh. He's going to stomp on your feet, not really throw much with his hands. He's very tough. He's got a decent submission game. Overrated to say the least, but he's got a decent submission game. I don't believe he's going to be effective against Ian Machado Garry. And how I see this fight playing out is Ian Machado Garry is going to be bouncing around the octagon, flowing around. I don't think that Magny is going to be able to pin down Ian Machado Garry. And I believe because of that, Ian Machado Garry is just going to go out there and outpoint him to a 30-27 decision, outstrike him. And even when Magny tries to implement the grappling, I do believe that Ian Machado Garry is going to be able to fend it off. He's going to be able to ward it off and get back up to his feet, or he's never going to get down to his feet. He's just going to be standing. He's going to kind of shuck him off. He's going to get out of the clinch and then go back to striking, just kind of point fighting him at range and winning a 30-27 decision. Moving up the card, we have the second most compelling stylistic matchup on the entire main card for me. This is Weili Zhang versus Amanda Lemos. This is an absolute incredible fight, guys. If you don't know who Amanda Lemos is, let me introduce you. She is an absolutely incredible fighter. She has phenomenal power. She's very scary. She has a very nasty submission game. We saw what she did to Michelle Waterson. She snatched up a guillotine in like half a second. Against Marina Rodriguez, she knocked her out on the feet, just finished her with TKO on the feet and showed that she showed across her career she can finish you on the feet, she can finish you on the ground. Incredible submission game, incredible knockout power, incredible killer instinct. And against Weili Zhang, she's phenomenal. She's one of the all-time female greats. 2 wins over Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Very competitive fights with Rose Namajunas. She just went out there and absolutely dominated Carla Esparza, finishing her in the second round with a rear naked choke. And she's just phenomenal. But how I see this fight playing out is essentially Amanda Lemos, as much as I like her, I do believe she's a little bit of a knockout merchant. She's a little bit of a KO power merchant. In the same way as Chito Vera, she has a lot more activity, but I do believe she kind of relies on that power. And what I believe is going to happen is Weili Zhang is going to be she's going to be very composed. She's maybe going to shoot in on a takedown very early in the first round. She's going to get the takedown. She's going to show she's a superior grappler. And I believe she's going to be a little bit of the better grappler, the better striker, the better kickboxer, better boxer, whatever. She's going to have the better cardio as well. And what I believe is going to happen is she's going to start picking at that lead leg maybe after she gets the takedown. I believe she's going to get that takedown. Amanda Lemos is going to get back up to her feet. And, Weili Zhang's going to start throwing those patented, those lead leg kicks, lead high kicks that don't really do much damage, but they just kind of win her rounds. They point fight. And eventually those leg kicks and those high kicks, they're going to start to frustrate Amanda Lemos. She's going to start to go back to her roots. She's going to be throwing wild shots on the feet. And I believe she's going to get countered badly in the second round. I believe the first round is going to be relatively kind of like nothing happening until the very end of the first round. I do believe Weili Zhang is going to get some massive flurry at the end of the first round. But then in the second round, Weili Zhang is going to find a phenomenal counter shot as Amanda Lemos comes in with a huge flurry. She's going to get countered brutally, hurt badly, and finished in the same way that Jessica Andrade was finished against Weili Zhang. I'm going Weili Zhang via second round knockout. And moving up the card to the main event, Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling is taking on the Sugar Show Sean O'Malley. I could not be happier about this matchup. I understand there are some asterisks. The UFC, in my opinion, is trying to sabotage Aljamain Sterling in this fight. They're trying to get him on a really quick turnaround. We heard Sean O'Malley in the aftermath of 288 when he was in the cage with Aljo saying, you better get ready to cut that weight. You better get ready to cut that weight. I believe the plan with Dana White and Sean O'Malley was to get the weakest version of Aljamain Sterling. They're trying to get Aljamain Sterling making a really quick turnaround, a really quick comeback. And I believe this is going to backfire August 19th when Aljamain Sterling brutally chokes out Sean O'Malley in the first round. How I see this fight playing out is essentially Aljamain Sterling's going to come out very, 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 very defensively sound, barely throwing anything on the feet. He's going to throw a couple lead leg kicks, a couple punches. That's it. Nothing really much. Sean O'Malley's going to be doing the same. He's going to be very defensively sound, very worried about the takedown. He literally said in an interview, it's kill or be killed, life or death. Do not let him get a hold of me. Do not let him get a single hand on me, life or death. And that's not a great mindset to have when you're going up against a fighter like Aljamain Sterling. And even though his style is funky, even though it doesn't look maybe the most aesthetically pleasing, he finds a way to win. It always works. It worked against Peter Yan. It worked against TJ Dillashaw. It worked against Henry Cejudo. It certainly worked against Corey Sandhagen, where he choked him out brutally in the first round, 60 seconds in. And I believe he's going to be very, very patient. He's going to be throwing a couple leg kicks, and then he's going to find his moment. Maybe he's going to dip down low and throw a head kick up high. Sean O'Malley's going to drop his hands, get caught with a head kick, and it's going to stun him for a second. It's not going to have a lot of power on it. Aljamain Sterling does not have a lot of power in his shots to begin with. But I believe it's just going to kind of catch him off guard a little bit. He's not going to be expecting it. And the moment that happens, Aljamain Sterling is going to shoot in at lightning speed, immediately get a hold of him, drive him up against the cage, get that body lock, drag him to the ground, immediately take the back. And what I believe is going to happen is going to flatten him out, belly down, and then they're going to keep rolling. They're going to be rolling through the body locks, and they're going to be rolling, and then Aljo's going to be on his back, but he's going to have the back. And it's going to be rolling. They're going to be rolling across the octagon, and I believe he's going to keep fighting. He's going to switch sides over and over again with the body lock as Sean O'Malley tries to turn out of it. And Sean O'Malley is not going to have a lot of success escaping the body lock of Aljamain Sterling. He's going to be very aware of the rear naked choke. He's going to be very aware of it. He's going to be fighting the rear naked choke well. Aljamain Sterling's not going to have a lot of success with the rear naked choke. So he's going to make sure he has optimal control, and then he's going to start landing some brutal ground and pound when he flattens Sean O'Malley out. He's going to get him belly down, flattened out. He's going to start landing some brutal ground and pound. Sean O'Malley's going to start lifting his hands, and then he's going to lift his chin for just a second. He's going to lift his chin for just a second, and Aljamain Sterling's going to jump on that neck, snatch up a rear naked choke, and submit him in the first round, derailing the Sugar Show. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I cannot wait to see this card. I am absolutely anticipating. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I am so excited for this card. It is absolutely phenomenal. This is one of my most anticipated cards of the year. Even though it's taken a lot of hits, it's still a great card, and I cannot wait to see it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you do not miss another upload, and I will see you guys in the next one.